Okay, try again. Hello. I forget to push that button sometimes. Let's turn that off. Okay, so exciting. Everything on YouTube. I see I have people. Amazing. I have Eileen and Vicky. Kate Hedgett, I'm not sure how to say, I hope that's okay. And Deborah and Chaska, and I hope I'm saying your names right. Jess from Delaware, welcome. Patricia, Valerie, welcome. Vivi Elkimi, I don't know, from Montana, and Anita from Eastern Nebraska. Woohoo, Nebraska! I'm in Nebraska. Okay, very cool. Did I say hi, Patricia and Valerie? Welcome, welcome. Okay, so here's what we're creating tonight. I'm just gonna hop right into business. I'm not gonna wait for anything. So, oh, hi, Linda and Virginia. Welcome, ladies. Good to see you here again. Okay. Hi, Carol. Okay, so we're making a mixed media pumpkin monogram. Okay, so for that, you will need a printout or a tracer for your letter that you're going to monogram. So I did letter A for my kind of reference sample, but I will be working on letter L. You know, my name is Luba, so I thought let's do L. And L's are kind of a little bit boring. There's not much that you can do with the letter L, but whatever. So for this, you will need two sheets because I will show you why, but trust me, you need two sheets. Okay. So you will need this. You will need some old pages from books. If you do not have that, I put it in the group's guide, the Paint with Luba group. There is a page that you can just print out that looks like, old page that you can just rip up. For that, what else? We're going to need acrylic paints with a background. I'm going to use olive green, emerald green, and gold. Now, if you do not like this particular color combination, maybe you could go and try do a blue background, like use phthalo blue, sky blue, and gold, or and I think I would stick with that because pumpkins are yellow and the letter is kind of yellowish. So it would really look good with greens and blues, but it might look a little bit weird with reds. I don't know. So maybe if you want to try, go ahead and try it, but I really wouldn't. I don't think the pumpkin would look good on that background. But again, if you're going to change the colors of your pumpkin, all of that, so change the way you want to, play with it. If you want to add more sunflowers or put another pumpkin in there, it's your art. Okay, I am here to show the technique and help you get there, hopefully, as best as I can. But it's your art. So it's you on the other side of the screen from me, right? Who's going to decide what exactly you're going to do. I'm going to use Posca pens for outlining some things here just because it's easier to make a nice, decent line. With that, you can always do that with a brush, but like Posca pen do with the Posca, it's easier to do the highlights like that and dots and all of that stuff. Okay, if you have any questions, put them in comments. Now, while we are live, it is super, super, super important that you would hit the like button and that also you would subscribe to this channel. It helps me grow. It costs nothing to you, absolutely, right? But when YouTube sees that people are commenting, liking, and subscribing, they start showing the same video to more people. Okay, so please help me grow. You know, where is it? Here, subscribe, like, um, ask questions, share, share your thoughts on things, and we'll be good. Okay, so, and I'm going to be using a glue stick. Did I say that? I don't think so. So my glue stick, I have two that I use kind of on and off. I really like this one. Oop, oop, oop. Scotch permanent glue stick, and I really like UHU stick. I'm sure people who are in the craft world, I'm sure you're aware of both. And I've been using them on and off in my mixed media journal and art journal, and I really like these two. So there is that. And also, if you decide that you would want to seal your work, matte medium is the best thing. You want matte medium, not glossy. And when you all, oh, I would have to think about acrylic though. I would seal the letter first. I think I'll try and remember to tell you that. Seal the letter before you paint on top of it. Okay? All right. Hi, Barbara, and hi, Colleen, and hi, Cindy. Welcome, welcome. All right, I'm going to change the view to complete desk view so that you do not, whoopsie, solo layout. There we go. So that you can see exactly what I'm doing. This is my paper towels, and I have rinsing water up here. Let me turn this just a tiny bit so that we can see the whole thing. So this is my reference. It goes up. I thought I would be working in this sketchbook, but then I realized that I cannot see the reference if I'm working in the same book. That's not going to work. So I pulled a page out of, like, I had the leftover some watercolor paper pad, and so I pulled the page from there. So Colleen Colleen says my sister's here from Illinois. We're watching together. Ooh, nice. Her name is Terry. Yay. Hi, Terry. Okay, ladies, let's start. So here's what we're going to do. It's going to be like a step-by-step. There's going to be a few things that are going to be happening almost simultaneously, but not quite. First, we're going to work on the background. For the background, you're going to need, if you're using the same colors as I am, olive green, emerald green, and gold. And you want to have some sort of a scraper, like an old credit card, a palette knife, something like that, something that would have some resistance to it. Okay, so I'm using a palette knife. Okay. So to not waste a whole lot of paint, because once you start scraping, you're pretty much taking it off. You do not want to put a whole lot of paint on here, okay? So try and think in terms of the size of a green pea, okay? And that's even maybe too much, okay? So we're gonna just go ahead and just grabbing my paint directly like this, and just, whoa, that's a bubble, that's not paint blob. See, it went down. And just apply randomly. Good enough. Randomly. Super randomly, okay? Then I'm taking my emerald green, which is probably also has a booger on it, because that's what they do. Okay. Oh, that's a lot. This is too much. Hershey Kiss, that's too much. You want to think chocolate chip, not a morsel. Chocolate chip. Okay. Close that. And then I'm doing the gold, which is coming out voluntarily super fast. And I can always add some more. If I need it, I can always add some more. Now I'm going to grab my scraper or my palette knife, And I'm gonna grab a couple of paper towels and just have them in my hand because I will need to wipe down that palette knife. Okay, ready? Let's see. Let's go. And I'm just gonna push it down, press it down, and just scrape and lift. You see all this paint? So it hasn't blended in yet into itself. So I'm gonna use it one more time. I'm gonna move a little bit off to the side and do this again. And now my paint starts to mix. So I'm gonna just take it off onto my paper towel. Sadly, I haven't figured out a better way to do this without wasting so much paint, but it's kind of this is the easiest way to do this. Okay, so I've pretty much used everything that I had on my surface, so I'm gonna add a little bit more emerald green, a few more nice dots of olive green, and a couple more gold, especially over here. Come on, drop. Doesn't want to drop. Okay, and I'm gonna scrape again, and maybe again. Let's see. I'm trying to make a little bit of a darker background because that's what I like. But like, if you like things lighter, maybe you will want to stop at some earlier point. Okay, I like this. I'm gonna stop right here, except for I'm gonna pick up. There's a little bit build up, so I'm gonna pick that up. I want to make sure that it's almost flat, but there is still a little bit of texture. You do not want to have a whole lot of texture because we're already going to be building paper on that and then painting on that. So we do not want to have a whole lot of texture on there, okay? A little bit goes a long way in this one. Okay, so I'm going to lift it and show you. How cool is that? Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. I could just use that for a background for something else. For like a printed paper, you know, for like for a book cover, for a journal cover. Oh, this is pretty. Okay, so I'm going to put this off to the side and let it dry. And I'll probably have to use my blow dryer to help it dry better. But, you know, it's all good. Okay, next step is you're going to grab one of your pages and then you're going to grab your old book pages. I don't know how many you're going to use. Whoa, well, that tore right away. I do not ink every torn page for this project, but you absolutely can if you know what I'm talking about. If you're like, if you're in the mixed media or collage making or scrapbooking or card making, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you do not know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Okay, I will show you how to ink, quote unquote, yeah, ink the letter with acrylic paint. So we do not need to go ahead. We don't need to buy another supply, right? Because those ink pads, they are not cheap. Okay. So this is how I do this. I have an old magazine somewhere. Something that I know I'm not going to use for anything. And I use it as my gluing surface, and then I just flip pages as I get through it to mix up my papers. So there is some variety. And the idea is to use your papers to cover up all the letter, okay? You do not need to cover all the space around the leather, but you want your leather to be covered up with paper, and maybe use a couple of layers so that it would look better, okay? Like when the paper is overlapping. So I am just, as easy as that, applying some glue stick and putting it on my leather. Now you know why we needed 2 of those, right? Because you cannot cut that leather out if you cannot see your lines. That would make it hard. If you have book paper that like something was spilled on it, I have no idea what happened to this, but it has this like ombre. Something got spilled. I don't know. I think it happened when I was moving, and I had all my supplies were in boxes, and I really did not seal my alcohol ink very well. So I think that is what leaked. I found a confirmation that my purple ink leaked a lot, but it didn't cause much damage. It just kind of soaked into a box that it was in, and it was not a big deal. Okay. And I'm kind of holding it down to help the paper take shape and not warp too much. You do not want to use a lot of glue on this, okay? You want to just kind of put some glue on it and move on, and move on. Okay, if you hear some racket around here, I have a puppy, and her name is Cassie, and she is a Australian Shepherd. She's a rescue, and she's insane. She's super active, and around between 7 and 8 is kind of her almost like witching hour, like kids have that. And she literally, and I mean literally, pulls out all her toys. She has a basket full of toys, and she pulls them all out, and she brings them right next to my studio and starts playing with them and dropping them and like making all of this noise. So if you hear it, that's my dog playing. She doesn't mean to be disrespectful to our art time. It's just her need, because she's super active. She just needs that. If you remember to turn your papers so that the lines of the text go different directions, that would also look super cool. And if you already went like all the way half the way down your letter, and now I told you and you look and you see that your lines are not like that, you can always grab another sheet and just apply it on top, and maybe tear it some more, right? And just apply something on top and change direction. Hey June, welcome. So there is that. Oh, how fun. I got a web. I'll probably cover it though. I don't know. It will probably get covered with a pumpkin or something. This way. It really doesn't matter if the lines are torn or not, because we're gonna cut all of this out. So there's no fussing about it. So see, this one is used. Move on to the other. You know what? I'm gonna move to somewhere that's not advertising ladies' underwear. I might get in trouble with YouTube for showing that. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Yet. I don't know how that works yet. Super excited to have everything on one, what's it called? On one platform. Because it was quite a bit of work. I would do the live on Facebook, and then I would have to download, edit, upload to YouTube. You know, it's just extra activity that I do not really have time for right now. So yes, I am super excited to have everything on one platform. Okay, so my letter is all covered, and I'm ready for my next step. Let's put this aside. Oh, the next step is going to be cutting this letter out. You can, depending on your cutting skills and how comfortable you are doing that, you can just simply sandwich your second paper with your first paper. And if you need like a paper clip to hold this together, you can always do that, like in a few spots, and just cut it out. Yeah, that's not hard at all. Or you can use carbon transfer paper, which is what I'm going to do just to make it easier. If you do not have that, but you do want to transfer, you can grab your second paper. Hold on. It's this. You can grab your second paper, flip it over, and rub your pencil over it where the letter is. Rub a lot of pencil, and then flip it over and put it on top of your glued paper, right? And then trace, and you will see it will trace. Okay. So let me make sure that I'm all lined up. And I'm just going to trace my letter. And that's it. And I can see my lines to follow. I need scissors though. Okay, so let's cut that puppy out. Okay, I have my letter L. Gonna keep my scrap for just a minute here. I'm gonna grab my black paint, and I'm gonna need just a little bit. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mimic inking, not real inking. You know what? I am gonna use that second sheet for that, because that is not gonna be enough. just to make sure. All right, so I'm gonna need my small flat brush, small flat brush. I'm gonna make it wet or damp, kind of. Wipe it down on the paper towel, and I'm gonna put a little bit of black paint on my palette. I'll move things around a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. There, just a dot. Again, think chocolate chip. Think chocolate chip, okay? There's your brush. So you're gonna put some paint just on the tips of your brush. It doesn't show very well because my brush is dark, but you can probably see, I hope you can see that it's just on the tips. And I'm gonna hold the letter in one hand and use this kind of motion with my other hand, pretty much just painting the edges black. Okay, this is what they do a lot in like mixed media and art journaling and junk journals, just to get your pieces to stand out. You ink the edges, and then when you do your collage, your pieces look better because, you know, they have an outline, like built in. It's a built-in outline. If you want your outline a little bit messier, you can just apply a little bit more paint and just kind of, you know, make the edge a little bit more pronounced, I guess. You can do that. You can say that. And your acrylic paint, it won't bleed. So that's a kind of a hack for those who want to do this kind of stuff but don't want to, well, we don't want to invest in inking pads, distress ink. I think it has its value, all that stuff, but if you're not doing that on the regular and not using this kind of stuff all the time, then I don't see why. All right. Okay, this puppy needs a minute to dry. Just a minute, because we didn't really put a whole lot of paint on it. All right, in the comments, let me know. Are you done? Where are you? Where are you? Are you at the? Are you still working on your background? Are you cutting out your letter already, or you're doing the distressing, or you're done and you're good to go? I'm asking because it helps me to figure out my pace if I'm going too fast, because sometimes I do go too fast. Background is still drying. Yes, it's still sitting there. It's fine. Okay, Eileen's in the inking. Okay, you guys are amazing. You're working fast. Very good. Okay, so for those of you who are done inking, if your background isn't dry yet, this would be a good time to grab your blow dryer and help that background dry. I'm gonna look at mine. It got all wobbly because watercolor paper. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to hit it with the blow dryer. So, I'm gonna Valerie is all cut up. Good job. The letter needs to dry. Okay. Cindy's just watching. Barbara's just watching. Okay, all good. All good. Okay, so here's what we're doing. I'm going to mute my mic for, a few minutes, and you will see me moving the blower. Okay, because I want to blow dry this first. So let's do that. Okie dokie, I'm back. So the next step is pretty simple. We're gonna glue this letter to the background. Position it in a way that so that it fits just where you want it. Okay, and you can use, if you're using one of these all-purpose or permanent glue sticks, you can totally do that. But I'm gonna show you what I do with matte medium, because I think that's fair, right? Okay, so there's matte medium. I know I'm not gonna need a whole lot, and I'm almost empty. So I'm just gonna squeeze a bit. And here, that's plenty. And I'm just gonna use my regular brush and spread it on the surface. That I got a whole lot. This is a lot. But it will be helpful to seal also. So this is matte medium. It will dry clear and matte. So that's kind of what I want. And then I'm gonna put my letter on here. Is that how I want it? I think so. There's a little bit that needed. And then I just put that matte medium on top all the way. And just because I want to have like consistent finish, right? Because sometimes paint dry, you'll have paints that dry matte, you'll have paints that dry glossy, and sometimes you'll have matte and glossy in the same project, right? So I'm just gonna make sure that my whole painting is matte. Again, if you're just using a glue stick, just apply your glue stick to your leather and put it on your painting and apply some pressure so that to make sure that your leather is not going anywhere. Make sense? Okay, I'm gonna clean up my brush. Tarbottle says, I'm sure, I don't know your names, guys, so I'm just calling it whatever the ID is, right, on YouTube. I'll be doing this one later, just watching for now. Yeah, Sam says hi. Hi, Sam. All right. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Try not to drop anything, yeah? So I'm putting my gold away and I'm putting matte medium away. And then I'm gonna mute again just because I enjoy doing that, you know? No, I really don't, but I have to. So I'm gonna mute for a couple minutes and maybe 30 seconds really, and dry this. All righty. Okay, Cindy's just watching. Hope to make it this weekend. Absolutely, absolutely. This is my favorite way to learn. I just watch the videos, and then when I have time, I just go back to my YouTube history and pull it out, and then I can like jump through steps, and I don't need to watch the whole thing because I know what's happening. Okay, so next step is the pumpkin, the flower, and the flower. You can move them, put them anywhere you like. Okay. So if you have, if you're using a tracer for this, your tracer, I should have printed it out, but I didn't think about it. So you should have the pumpkin and the flower in the top corner, the pumpkin and the flower in the bottom corner, and the flower in the top corner. Yeah. So just cut out this part over here, okay, and then figure out where you want it, and then trace it. You can, um, uh, you can also do it with chalk if you do not. You don't have to do it with pencil, okay? Because this is super dark, so you can use chalk if you have it, or you can just use pencil and you will still see it. Also, I'm going to show you how to paint the pumpkin and the sunflowers by hand, freehand. It's not that hard, really. It's not complicated, okay? So let's take maybe a minute to clear the area a little bit, whatever we have, right? Whatever we have in the, like, that we know we're not going to use. So I know I'm going to use my olive green. I'm going to keep that, but I'm going to put the other thing away. My desk is really not that big, so I really need to clean up as I go to just kind of make sure that I'm not dropping things, because once I once I do that, I'm sorry, you guys are killing me. You're killing me. So, we have a question: any tricks to printing from Facebook? And we have an answer that's not necessarily helpful, but it's hilarious. And the only way I've successfully printed from Facebook was to use a hammer on my printer and then buy a new one. Did you buy a new printer or a new hammer? But I can relate. The only way to print from Facebook is to download to your computer. You need to, whatever you need to print, you download it into your computer and then you print from your computer. You do not, I never printed, I never print from Facebook. Yes, the struggle is real. I get it. I get it. Okay, so here's what we're gonna need for the pumpkin and the flower. We're going to use acrylic paints, and let's see, I said lemon yellow, and then I said primary yellow, right? Hope I have enough here. Look, this is almost done. It should be enough. This is not that much to paint here. Yeah, I got it. I got it. Okay. I'll move stuff around again, but you get the idea. Okay, so good amount, good amount. Hershey Kiss amount. Yeah, since I'm in the chocolates today for some reason, I don't know. Terry says waiting to dry, but have the letter on the canvas. Perfect. Apparently we need a blow dryer. Uh-oh. You know what? I have had things dry by just like using them as a fan or putting them next to a fan, like up high, a little bit up higher to the ceiling fan. Obviously, you do not want it to hit the ceiling fan. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I have lemon yellow, primary yellow. I'm gonna need white, which is, hello, right here, hiding behind things so that I have to drop something, right? Okay, nothing dropped. We're good. All right. Okay, white. And I still have a dot of black on the other side of the palette, remember? And olive green. And that's all we need here. Not much. Oh, come on. Gosh, I love olive green. I don't know what it is about this so muted color, but I just love, love, love it. Okay. So we're gonna need a small flat or a small filbert, something small. Get a small brush just to make your life easier, especially if you're painting with me, not using a tracer, if you're painting freehand, okay? I moved stuff again, so, okay, we should be good. We should be good. Put some water. So I have a small filbert, and it's broken, so it doesn't really look like a filbert anymore, but just believe me, it's a small filbert. And I'm gonna grab a good amount of white and a nice amount of dot of black, and I'm gonna make light gray, just a light gray. Maybe grab some water. Add some water to it if it's too thick. And we're gonna pick a spot for the pumpkin. And I'm gonna put my pumpkin right here in the corner. Oh, maybe not. Because I just told you that I really want to, yeah, I'm gonna just do whatever we had in the reference, because otherwise it's gonna get confusing to you guys. I don't want to confuse you. Okay, so my pumpkin goes right here in this corner. So I'm gonna have the pumpkin and the flower next to it. So I start with the pumpkin and I just paint a simple oval in gray. Okay, so it will help us. And if you are following a tracer, you want to fill it in with gray paint. So just paint. It's probably going to be the same steps. If you already have a tracer, you're going to paint the central section, and then you're going to do, you're going to draw like a letter C, but you do not want your letter C to be on the same line with this. Here's what I'm trying to do. Let me show you. So let's say if you were writing letters, right? And this is the line. All your letters will go on the same line, but you want to go up higher. So you're gonna go a little bit up higher, cover this up a little bit, or use your imagination, right? Just imagine where that line would be, and just add a letter C. I think I went a little bit too high, but I can fix it once I take that line off. Okay? And your letter C is also going to be up higher on the top and up higher on the bottom. So it kind of stacks a little bit. And then you're going to do the same thing, but symmetrical on the other side. It's like you added 2 ears to it. Yeah, and then I will remove it. Yeah, it's a little bit too high, but oh my goodness, I just put my paper, my assistant paper, directly onto my palette. Okay, so this is what we're doing. I just want it a little bit, just a tiny bit lower, so it's a little bit more realistic. Yeah, here we go. Okay, and then we're gonna add 2 more ears, but this time we're not gonna make them as wide. So again, you're gonna go up higher, but not as wide, and just bring it in. Okay. Painted black. The other one also a little bit up higher, around, and bring it in before it goes all the way. Okay. Then we're gonna add the top, and the top is just really 2, I call them humps. 1, 2, just like that. Then just cover this with paint. Now, for the stalk, it will be a lot easier to use a small round brush. For the stem, sorry, not for the stalk, for the stem. So I have my small round brush, and somewhere from the middle of the top, right here, I am just going to go up, something like that, and then find another spot and just bring that together and paint that in. And I'm still gonna stick to this round brush to add the leaf. So at the top of the stem, I'm gonna do like a smiley face line, like I'm smiling, or the pumpkin's smiling, I don't know. And to create that kind of leaf, you need to remember how to draw or write letter M, cursive, small cursive M. You're gonna start here, and then you're gonna go that the M, 1, 2, 3. So see, I have an M, and then you kind of go up like this, and then you repeat on the other side. 1, 2, 3, and you bring it together. And so that is your leaf. And I'm gonna switch to my filbert here, just to fill it in, because filling it in with gray paint with a small round brush, that's painful. You know? So there we go. Also, you probably can hear my kids. They're watching something on TV. Sounds like watching something super exciting. Okay. That's good. And then we're gonna add a swirl right here and out using the round brush. Use your round brush to do that. So I have my pumpkin, and now I'm gonna add my my sunflower. Okay, I'm gonna using my filbert. So the center of the sunflower sits right here on the bottom of this pumpkin because they overlap, and you will be able to see, even though you're using the same color and everything, you will still be able to see. I'm now thinking maybe it's easier to paint the pumpkin first and then add the sunflower. What do you think? You could probably do that. Now let's go to the top of the letter and let's add that sunflower. You're going to start with an oval. And I really like round brushes for petals, because round brushes really really do kind of let us move a little bit more naturally, I guess. Okay, I'm still in gray paint. I'm not changing anything. Just added a little bit of water to my paint. Yeah, okay. And you're just gonna add your petals. And this is how I do this. I do the 12 o'clock, and then I do 3 o'clock, just making sure that my petals are roughly the same size. And 6 o'clock. And yep, you guessed it, 9 o'clock. And then I fill in the 1 o'clock. And the 4 o'clock. See, it's that simple. Don't need to be anything complicated. And then I think that's a 7. And that is a 10. Okay. And of course now we're gonna add the 11 and the 2 o'clock and the what I was missing. The 5 o'clock was missing. And I believe this one was missing. The 8 o'clock was missing. Okay, so now I have that. Okay. Does the gray help the top color stand put more from the background like a primer? I am new to painting in general. Yes, that is a great question. And this is something that people usually don't teach. So, yes, especially when you're trying to put colors like yellow and red, and you're using colors like you have a super dark or bright or, in any way full background, right? And you're trying to add reds or oranges or yellows. Those colors are usually, especially for craft paint, those colors are usually very transparent. And so they tell you to add white to it. They tell you, oh, just add some white to it and then like put a few layers or coats. But it really doesn't do much. You have to add a whole lot of white to it. So this really helps to get your colors right. Okay, so let's paint the pumpkin. I'm gonna grab some of this lemon yellow, some of the white together, just to bring that lemon yellow to life. And I'm gonna paint the center. You see how nice this is, and you can actually see the color. We're teaching our boys not to use filler words like actually and literally. And I use them a lot. Like I listen to myself talk, and no wonder they talk like that because this is how I talk. All right. So see, even with white, even professional grade yellow, you still see a little bit of gray through it, right? And imagine covering all of that green with this. It would be super hard. So don't try to make this perfect. Just put it on and move on. Just apply your yellow. Here and here. And try to avoid the stem. Here we go. Just like that. Okay. Next, you're going to grab, I'm using the same messy brush, not going to do anything. I'm going to grab some of this primary yellow and some of the white again. I'm going to spray my palette because my paint is drying super fast. It's been super dry in Nebraska. And so my paints are drying like crazy, super fast. Okay. And you're going to add some yellow. And so here's how I do this. I put it on the outside of the rib. I think those are called ribs. And I just add a little bit more of yellow around it, and I just leave it be because I'll be back. I want to come back with more color. Okay. This is not as bright as I want it to be. I want it to be a lot brighter. It's kind of even greenish and in the camera, like what I see. I don't know what you guys see. Okay, this brush, I just wipe it down on the paper towel, just wipe it off. Now I'm gonna grab straight lemon yellow on my brush and go to that pumpkin again. And just add more bright lemon yellow. Now it's getting there, right? Now you start seeing that it's yellow and pretty. More lemon yellow. Now wipe the brush on the paper towel and grab some of that warm yellow and just add as a shading. So I am really just applying it, like literally, see, I am applying it to just some parts of my pumpkin. I do not want to have the whole orange pumpkin. I still want my pumpkin yellow. Right? There. Just right there. Here we go. Just like that. Okay. Here we are. Okay. On the paper towel, wipe down, and we're gonna grab some white water. Gosh, it's insane. Some white water, some olive green with this white. And to this, we're gonna add some lemon yellow. Yep. You want a lighter color, not directly olive green, not straight olive green. Okay. So, yep, I think it shows pretty good. So this is the color that I want, right? And this is olive green. So you can see the difference, right? Olive green is super dark. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this lighter green that we just made, and I'm gonna paint the pumpkin stem with this color, and the, oh, do I dare using this? I think I'll do it. Just kind of have to pay. Oh, look at that, it happened. This swirl happened. I noticed that with leaves, especially larger ones like this one, it's pretty good size. It helps to apply your strokes from the outside, from the inside out, like the veins of the leaf. Then your leaf looks a little bit more natural, I guess. Okay, this puppy needs to dry. So while this puppy is drying, we're going to still use this color while we can, because it's still here and I do not want to waste it. And this is going to be the center of that sunflower that sits on the bottom here. So I'm just going to put it here, just kind of hold the place, and then I'll come back to it. If your paint doesn't stick and your pumpkin's too wet, it's okay. It's supposed to, right? Okay. Thank you for, yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. This one here on the top, sunflower on the top, I do this lighter green for the center. And if your gray is not completely dry, you really should dry it. My gray is not completely dry. I should have dried it. Okay, so why you want the gray dry is because otherwise it's gonna blend, it's going to blend with the next color you're applying to it. All right, so I'm gonna rinse my brush and mute my mic for just a minute and dry the flower. Okay, here we go. Alrighty, it is dry. Okay, so sunflowers, it's really pretty much the same method that I do with the pumpkin. I paint it with lemon yellow and some white. Just I'll have to just pick it up. Wow, because I made my palette so wet. It's just there. Okay, so just start with my petals, the ones that I painted first, which would be 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Yeah, just do that. I'm using the round brush. I don't know if I mentioned, I don't think I mentioned that I'm using my small round brush. Just the same brush I used to paint it. Yeah, and then you're just gonna add more petals. And at some points it will overlap, and it's all good. It's supposed to overlap because it's a sunflower. Oh, wow. That's a lot of paint. Okay. That was supposed to be here, and then this one is supposed to be here. Okay, and so step 2. Hold on. Okay, Terry, what about adding the sunflower on the bottom by the pumpkin? Are we going to add that? Yes, absolutely, we are going to add that. But I want my pumpkin to dry before I add another layer of gray to it. Okay? Because there is already like 6 coats of paint on here. So I want it to dry. Because if I start adding more paint, it'll start to pull itself and that's not going to be pretty. So I'm just going to work on the other flower for now. Okay, grab some of your primary yellow or warm yellow, whatever it is you call it. And you can just start. Look at that, how pretty. I don't need a lot, just give me some yellow and let me paint a sunflower and I'll be happy. You just pick and choose whatever petals. Doesn't matter now. At this point, it doesn't really matter at all. And you can make some petals a little bit lighter, some petals a little bit more yellow. It's all up to you. You can add the lighter petals. What an eye candy. I went to a seed store online and couldn't buy anything from them because their checkout system kept crashing. But they had sunflowers, and their sunflowers, oh my gosh, they had a variety called the teddy bear sunflower, and it is so fluffy and cute. It looks almost like a marigold, but it's a sunflower, and it's like a 3-inch in diameter. They're huge, like compared to marigolds, but tiny compared to sunflowers. And they had a mammoth sunflower, which would grow to, I think it said 20 inches. 20 inches um, in diameter. And I was like, oh my goodness, I wanted them all. And then their checkout system kept crashing on me. And I tried even twice. Like I tried to check out, didn't work. And then like next week I tried again on their website and it still wouldn't work. And so I just gave up. So I'm grabbing some olive green, straight olive green onto my brush. And I'm painting the center, but I'm still leaving a little bit of light around. Do you see that? So it's not the whole, it's like a donut hole, right? Donut hole. Not very, not even, doesn't need to be even, super messy. And I'm gonna apply that also to this center here because we're ready to create this sunflower. The pumpkin is not dry, but it's getting there. So I'm gonna hit it with a blow dryer. Okay, mute. All right, and we will be using that blow dryer again because once we paint it with gray, we're gonna need to dry it before we can paint it yellow, okay? So for the sunflower that sits on its side, you want to make the petals that are up higher over here, those petals, they're longer, and then the petals that are closer to the ground, those are gonna be shorter, okay? So we can just do, let's just do it this way. I think my petals are different shape than they were on the tracer. So I'm just gonna try and maybe mimic the tracer a little bit, but still, it's still a sunflower. See? Just like that. And we still want a little big one here. And then when you start getting to the side, you kind of want that to bend them a little bit. Give them a little bit of a curve. And now, like once you pass the middle, you start to make them smaller. Make those petals smaller. Okay, and they're just holding space. It's all good. Don't put a whole lot of paint on it, just enough to block the color. Okay, everybody's doing okay so far? All right, I'm muting again to dry the gray. Doing great, okay. All right. Oh, and they always tell me, they people who tell me how to work on YouTube and like all of that. So they always tell me, do not forget to tell people where they can get your coffee. Because I always forget and then like it's left for like the last minute. So if you having fun and you feel like you would like to, this is how you can get me a coffee. So I really appreciate it. And this is not like a coffee, although I do love coffee and I do drink coffee, but it also helps me with my supplies and all the things that I have to pay for to be able to do this. If you buy me a coffee, that helps a lot. Okay, now what do we do? Lemon yellow with white. Let's just, we've got this. We already know what we're doing. We've done this twice already, right? For two different things. Okay, here we go. Deb, you just made my day. Thank you so much for saying that. Thank you so much. Okay, here we go. Whoopsie, a small petal. I really like to paint them from the top of the petal to the center of the flower. It's not always comfortable as your grip for the brush. So when I was just starting to paint, I would just turn my painting around to make it fit my needs, how I needed my painting to be. So if you need to do that, do that. And yeah, I'm switching to primary yellow. I'm really not a big fan of easels. I like them when I work on like large scale, but something smaller, oh, just put it on the table. Okay, here we go. Here, and here. So once we're done with our flowers, we need to make sure that all of this is super dry because we're going to switch to Posca pens. And that is a fun on its own. Okay, so this I'm pretty happy with. I'm going to wipe off my brush on the paper towel, grab some of that lighter green that we just made, okay, and put it in there again because I kind of made a mess with my petals, which is fine. Just have fun with it and grab some of the darker original olive green and just put it in the middle. There we go. I think we got, yep, we're good. We are good. We're doing awesome. Oh, Thierry, that is so sweet. I have to share that. I'm so happy that you got to do something creative with your sister. It is so special. It is so, so special. Y'all, if I'm off frame, feel free to yell at me and tell me, hey, Luba, we can't see what you're doing. Because sometimes I get carried away and I forget to look up at the screen to make sure that I'm in the frame. All right. So rinse your brushes, and once they are rinsed, dry them on a paper towel. Shape them with your fingers. They will last longer if you do that. And then put them to dry. Okay. So next up, I'm gonna mute again. Oh, Terry, you're so welcome. You are so welcome. Okay, I'm gonna mute again because I need all of this super dry. Okay. Okay, and the funny thing was that I was just narrating what was happening, and I forgot to turn the mic on. I had my phone, my phone got unplugged somehow. Well, because I'm moving things in the cords all the time, and I kept telling you how I got this, and then I look up and my mic was down, so I didn't really got this. Okay, so we need the white Posca and the black Posca. And here is my Posca. I'm gonna pull out two because I don't remember which one of them was dying. One of them was dying. So I'm using PC3M size, if that helps. But I'm sure that you can, if you have a larger one, PC5M, it will also work. Just do not press on it too hard. And this is going to be the story with me with my white because, again, I forgot to buy the 3M white. So I'm gonna be using the 5M. But again, if you do not press on them too hard, you can still make a good line. Not too thick line. Okay. Hold on. Where is my... Oh, you know what? That will work. I have a pad of sticky notes, like small pad of sticky notes that I use to clean up my Posca pans when it's needed. Okay, so black first. We're gonna use black first. Give it a shake. Don't shake it too much. I heard that they explode if you shake it too much. Check. Works just fine. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this flower up on top. Yeah, just a little warm up, kind of. Just go around. Do not worry if your line is not all straight. It doesn't need to be. Then pick a petal. Let's say again 12 o'clock or 9 o'clock or whatever. Yeah, and then pick another. And then pick one more. Doesn't have to be like symmetrical. Doesn't have to be. And another. And then add. So don't try. See, I'm picking up paint because it's not completely dry, which is why I have my magazine right here to wipe off the tip. Do not push on your pan. Just go lightly and around and around, around. And this way, some of your petals are going to be hidden, some of your petals are going to be up. Yeah? And then we're going to use this one to add, this is called stippling. When you just add dots, we're kind of going to add the sunflower seeds. We're not going to do a pattern. They do grow in a pattern and it's amazing. But that's a story for some other time, right? Some other time. Okay, I have that. Then I'm going to do the other flower, small one on the bottom. Same way, all the way around the center. Then pick a petal, go around it. Then maybe skip one or two, get another petal, then skip a couple, get another petal. And just, okay. And then fill in the other petals. Now they are hiding, so you will kind of make them look like they're hiding. See? Just like that. Super easy, super fun. Also, black dots. All the way around. Bounce easy. Do not press on your Posca pen or you'll make a puddle. Bounce. Just bounce. Super easy. Okay. Now we're going to do the pumpkin. So let me pull the reference up here because it's easier to show. So the center, you see how it stops on the flower. You're gonna skip this part. So you're gonna go around and come back, but not go across the flower. And then this part will stop and this part because it's behind the flower, okay? And that. And then I'm gonna circle, trace this rib, and this rib here. And then this is gonna stop right by the flower. And this down. And then the top parts. And I'm gonna connect to the stem. Yeah, as easy as that. Okay, now let's trace around the stem the full way. This whole thing. Just trace around it. Now let's do the leaf. I'm gonna trace. That leaf came out super crazy. I love it. And then I'm gonna add the middle and some veins. I think they're called veins. I don't know. I keep calling them veins. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. And each vein gets like a little letter Y, like this. Okay. Now let's do the little swirl. Okay. So you kind of need to go in two parallel lines. So Terry calls them veins. Okay, good. I just go around a little and then follow. Okay, because then I can remember where to jump. Because right here at this point, we'll have to jump. So through here, and then you're gonna jump over and finish. And this way, this part looks like it's under the other part. Okay. Okay, this next step is super easy. You're gonna draw ovals to fit the stem like this. They don't need to be perfect. Just they're kind of on the flat side, those ovals. Like think of sticking little rocks up on top of each other. All the way to the top. And then the area that's outside of those ovals, we're gonna color it black. Okay, and then like right here, there is like kind of an awkward space. I would still put a tiny oval right there. It's kind of awkward, but it can be there. Yeah, and then I'm gonna put 3 dots into each. So depending on the size on the size of your oval, your dots are gonna be bigger or smaller. Just do as you please. Do what feels good. Maybe you don't want dots in there. Maybe you want to put something else in there. And they get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay, and the last step is your white. Give it a shake. Yep. So pretty much everything for white highlights was, except for around the letter. It's like an exclamation point. You have a line dot, a line dot, a line dot, just going around on the inside. A line, line dot, yeah? So let's start with the top flower just to warm up because that's the easiest. So you don't want your exclamation points to be straight. You can gonna curve them a little bit. So there is a line and a dot, and then you go to your next petal. And I said don't make them straight, and I just made it straight. But because this petal is straight like that, it kind of works. So look what works. Look at what works. See, there's another one that's like that. And then we're gonna add highlights to the seeds and some highlights, dots. Gosh, I love Posca pens. They are so awesome. Just like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and add some dots to that swirl. Just follow that little curly cue. Jump. Now we're gonna add these line dots to the pumpkin. Around, dot, down the line, dot, around, dot doesn't fit. On the other side, there could be a dot and a line. And then again, around, dot, round, dot, around, dot. So just see what fits and put it in. Okay? Should fit pretty good, but sometimes things do not fit the same way that they would for me. Then I have 3 dots in between the curly Q and the pumpkin. If you want them, you can add them. And then 3 dots over here in the bottom corner. And now we're gonna add some exclamation points to this smaller sunflower, the highlight. Just the highlight. Right? And highlight some seeds on there. Aww. Sam says you always were fantastic at drawing and says he wishes you. Aww. That is so adorable. Thank you. You know what? You're gonna laugh, but I wish I was my art teacher at school. That's why I think that's the reason why I started to draw in my 40s. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, I didn't have good luck with art teachers. So now it's about highlighting your letter. So we're just gonna all the way, wherever the letter is. You can't see much of my L, so I'm just gonna try and make it really visible. I'm gonna add this thing with dot line, just kind of, because my L, letter L is really hard to do anything with. It's boring. I should have picked an M or a Q, right? That would be interesting, but that works. Oh, sign of a good teacher, be the one you want to learn from. Yeah, or I'm just up high where, you know. Okay, all good, all good. All right, so I think this is it, right? Don't forget to sign it, and I really like taking the um, this off. I am ripping my paper because I should have treated it, but I don't want to take any more time. It's not like it's going to a museum, right? It's gonna be fine. So with painter's tape, artist tape, if it sticks to your paper like this, just put some hot air on it for like a few seconds, and then it loosens the adhesive, and it makes it so much easier to not rip your paper, especially if you were painting like to give somebody a present, and now you're done, and your tape is ruining your work because it just sticks too hard, Nobody wants that. All right. Here we go. Done. Will black Sharpie work in lieu of the black Posca? Maybe. Maybe. I think it will. I'm not gonna why? What am I thinking? Think black Sharpie versus Posca. I think you can. I've seen people do it before. I just don't like how Sharpie dries on acrylics, I guess. I guess Posca is a lot more opaque. But I think you can. And maybe the problem, I think maybe I just don't like the way Sharpie smells. But I think you can. Try and tell us what happened, okay? So yeah, you guys, if you're in the group, please share your paintings. I love seeing what you do, what you create. Doesn't matter if you followed step by step or you just took your own route, or whatever. I've had people who would follow a tutorial and then do the same thing in watercolor. So what I wanted to tell you though, hold on, don't leave just yet, because I have, oh my gosh, I have, or I lost it and then I don't have it, but that's not helpful, is it? I wanted to show you what we're doing next. And I don't see my other sketchbook. What did I do with it? Huh? There's not that many it's right here, hiding behind the other one. There's not that many places in my studio where I could hide a sketchbook, honestly. So one of the upcoming is this in watercolor. And then another upcoming is pumpkins in watercolor. And there's more, so you can always find them in scheduled lives and all of that. So I hope to see you some other time. Oh no, Margie says that she is too dark of gray. Oh, I'm sorry. It does take a while to cover it up. Yeah. But I hope you still had fun with that. Okay, and I'll see you next time. Bye.